It's gone amazing. For me, it's been very insightful because in the future I would like to become an ambassador of England in another country such as France or Germany, as they are the subjects that I'm studying. So today's put everything into place for me because now I know what it's actually going to be like.
It's just been a really interesting experience. Young people coming together, arguing about stuff they've researched, and it just really worked and it functioned, and it shows that people are capable of doing that. And I've certainly argued more than I thought I would be able to today, and my research has come out a lot more than I thought it would do. So it's very good. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I think it was really good to develop my skills in debating as well as negotiation. So generally I think it was really good just to put my CV as well. But I think for my future as well, I think it really benefited because I do think that I will engage myself in this sort of stuff in the future, hopefully.
I thought it was excellent. I thought it was a really interesting opportunity to experience, and I've gotten to meet some people from the European Commission as well as Nick Clegg, so I mean, what more can we ask for?
You have to learn how to debate and put your point across, but you also have to concede to some issues. So have to know where's your red line issue, and also what point you can concede on and say, okay, we'll do this if you can make a deal on that. So yeah.
Negotiating was quite hard work because everyone came in knowing what they wanted to get out of it, and often they differed so much that it was it was a battle of wills at the end, really.
Well, I hope that they understand how difficult it is, the work we're doing in Brussels, how difficult it is to bring together nowadays 28 member states in order to come to agreements on very essential things that are the bread and butter of everybody, of every citizen in the Union. So everything from taxation to cars, how they are run, to prohibiting air pollution. So really the things that every one of us is concerned, and how difficult it is to bring all these countries together to an agreement finally.
I've always been a believer that in the sort of modern world where climate change knows no boundaries, criminals don't recognise borders, companies now bestride great continents. It just doesn't make any sense for us to pull up the drawbridge. We're a lot stronger when we do things together, and we're a lot weaker when we fall apart. So I've always believed that sometimes, infuriating though it might be to go through all these lengthy negotiations in Brussels and elsewhere, doing stuff together in the European Union, dealing with climate change, dealing with big trade negotiations and so on, tackling cross-border crime. I think it's always worth doing that because we get much more done together than if we just try to do it all on our own.
For those students like mine who want to go on to be politicians, we had a programme at our school where an ex-student actually came back from the EU to help the girls with this. So it really inspired them, and we're representing the Netherlands, and to find out that there are only 9 female representatives, for the Netherlands is amazing considering the fact that we're from a girls' school. So again, all of this together has really encouraged the girls to pursue this avenue, and they're both politics students and they absolutely have enjoyed the day.
I think what surprised me is how difficult real life politics actually is, because it sounds, fairly straightforward. Politics is about, making laws, coming up with ideas and viewpoints, but actually the reality is it's the art of persuading other people of your view. And I think students, to see that and to experience that is really quite a valuable thing to do.
As a country, I think that we look quite inwardly. We don't feel that England needs to know what's happening anywhere else, or that we need to speak other languages. And yet, they come to something like this and they can see languages in action. They see other young people who have got different views, and it gives them a real opportunity to discuss real issues with real people.
I think to start with, certainly they were all very nervous, and when the first exchanges were happening around the table, they were all quite reluctant to speak or wanted to get their pre-prepared words out first because they had a bit of paper to hang on to. But certainly they've now been interacting with each other and following what each other has said and finding their natural allies around the table.
They've learnt how to think on their feet and to be able to listen and absorb other people's arguments and adapt their own, because they were opposing certain proposals, but since listening to other opinions, they've changed their minds slightly in relation to what Cyprus would benefit from and what they wouldn't. I think they've learned a lot about European Union and how we work together, and how we could tackle global issues on an international level.
It's extraordinary, especially being down in the southwest in Plymouth, because we're so insular and it's such a long way from anywhere. So actually to be able to get the opportunity not only to participate, but actually to see around the centre of where everything happens, and you feel kind of caught up in a little bit of the magic of London and the politics. And I think for the students especially, it's that kind of special thing that will stay with them, a bit like Nick Clegg was talking about being inspired by a similar thing. So I think they'll go back and they'll be inspired by it and hopefully inspire other students to participate in the future.